Hi, Sayu Rinpoche here. This time, let's check out some of the most popular attractions in Paris, the capital of France and the city of light, and see if they're worth the hype. Paris is a huge city with endless things to see and to do. You could easily spend a few months without appreciating every single corner of this world-class city. The attractions we'll be talking about may or may not fit your itinerary in one shot, depending on how long you're staying or your style of traveling. But hey, at least I'll tell you my honest opinions, so hopefully it will help you to decide what will work the best for your visit. For first-time visitors who only have a limited time to see Paris, there is definitely no need for you to see every single attraction that I rate as must-see during your first Paris trip. In that case, I'll also include a list at the end of this video for what you should aim to see for your first time visit and what you could save for your next Paris trip. Let's start off with the one landmark you can see in many parts of the city, and probably is the first thing that comes to mind when many folks think of Paris: the Eiffel Tower. I didn't climb the actual tower, but I'll be doing that during my next visit. To see the tower up close, I recommend two places where you can take perfect pictures of you and this enduring symbol of the city: Champ de Mars, the grassy strip southeast of the tower, and Palais de Sayu, close to Trocadero metro station, on a higher point right across from La Seine, the main river that divides Paris into two sides. You can't go wrong with either one of these two locations. You could also pay for more exclusive views, like from an observation deck of Tour Montparnasse or from one of the Seine River cruises. As for whether the Eiffel Tower is worth your time, I mean, technically you can't miss it if you're physically in Paris, since it's the tallest structure in France and it's very visible from all over the city. If for some reason you claim you didn't see Tour Eiffel, well, you have a hard sell for people to believe that you actually have been to Paris. The next attraction we'll be talking about is not far from the Eiffel Tower, Hôtel des Invalides. This magnificent structure houses a historic church, a great military museum, and a mausoleum of Napoleon Bonaparte. You get to visit all three for the price of one. This is one of my favorite attractions in Paris, but understandably, this might not be a must-see for everyone. To me, this is absolutely the best place to learn about French military history for the past 200 years or so. And if you intend to learn the same, then feel free to include Hôtel des Invalides for your first-time Paris visit. It may also speak for another attraction that's close by, Musée d'Orsay. This thin railway station turned art gallery houses some of the best works of Monet, Cézanne, and Van Gogh. Again, if you're not into 18th to 19th century paintings and sculptures that much, then I feel like you'll have a lot of your time eaten away while you could enjoy something else that Paris offers. To me, Musée d'Orsay is certainly a must-see. But don't feel pressure to include this attraction for your first-time Paris itinerary unless you're super into 18th century to 19th century arts. Continue east on the bank of La Seine. You'll reach Saint-Germain and the Latin Quarter, two great neighborhoods with lots of things to see, to eat, and to experience. If you end up staying mostly in these two neighborhoods without hitting all the tourist attractions other people told you that you must go, I don't blame you. This is especially true for the number of gardens, where you could easily spend a day or two just relaxing. The most famous one, Jardin du Luxembourg, is in the heart of the Latin Quarter. There are also gardens in other neighborhoods like Jardin des Tuileries and the ones in Le Marais neighborhood. But Jardin du Luxembourg was my favorite. Either way, checking out the gardens of Paris, doesn't matter which one, is certainly a top Paris experience that I highly recommend. Also in the Latin Quarter, you'll find the Pantheon. It houses the final resting places of honored French citizens in history like Voltaire and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. If you're short on time, just the exterior is impressive enough. You can save the interior for your next trip, unless you really want to learn about some serious French history. Moving on towards the north, you'll cross the River Seine to an island. This is Ile de la Cité, the oldest part of Paris and the home to one of the most prominent landmarks of the city, the Notre Dame Cathedral. As of the time when this video was made, Notre Dame de Paris is not open for visiting due to the fire in 2019, which means you can only see it from the outside, at least for now. Nevertheless, this island itself is a must-see. If you want to see another impressive medieval-era church, the nearby Sainte-Chapelle is a great choice. This church was once a part of the original royal palace and has one of the most impressive stained glass interiors anywhere in the world. However, the church, being a former royal chapel, is relatively small, and it can be very crowded, especially when this became somewhat of a substitute for Notre Dame de Paris during its closure. Right next to Sainte-Chapelle is La Conciergerie, also a part of the original royal palace, and later became a prison during the French Revolution that housed political prisoners like Marie Antoinette. If you are seriously interested in French history, or you have plenty of time and you already have something like a combo ticket that includes the admission to La Conciergerie, then you can consider visiting this site. Otherwise, no need to make a special trip or pay to see the inside. If you want to see a church building that actually rivals the size of Notre Dame de Paris, then head north to the Montmartre neighborhood, the home of Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, a grand Neo-Byzantine-style basilica that you can also see from many parts of Paris. The surrounding Montmartre is a very popular neighborhood where many famous artists once lived and drew inspirations from. Nowadays, it's mostly a touristy area where you'll find many businesses targeting tourists. I think the interior of Basilique du Sacré-Cœur was not as impressive as its exterior, and certainly not as impressive as some of the other Neo-Byzantine churches elsewhere in France, like the ones in Marseille. In my opinion, Sacré-Cœur and Montmartre are great places to see if you're not into museums that much, and would be the perfect choice if you're looking for more things to do once all the must-see sites are crossed off the list. Moving back to the core area of Paris, here comes the former royal palace in the city center that everyone tells you that it's a must-see. Musée du Louvre. Today, it is the most visited museum in the world, and there is a good reason for that. Have you seen or heard of Mona Lisa, Venus of Milos, or Liberty Leading the People? There is so much more than these that you could easily spend a whole day here at the Louvre without seeing everything. Plus, even without all the exhibits, the building itself is an architectural masterpiece. So make sure you don't forget to appreciate the former palace itself while busily browsing the exhibits. The Louvre is no doubt one of the greatest, if not the greatest museum in the world. Therefore, I agree with everybody else. It is absolutely a must-see. Passing through Jardin des Tuileries and Place de la Concorde, you'll reach Champs-Élysées. This world-famous avenue is often associated with high-class shopping and is considered a symbol of Paris. In my opinion, it's an extremely busy, sometimes rather chaotic shopping street without much to offer itself for most of the sections. Now I know that I would definitely avoid going there unless it's absolutely necessary. A much better alternative would be the area near Boulevard Haussmann and the Opera House. This area, like Champs-Élysées, has plenty of shopping options. However, there is more for visitors as well. You can check out the department stores like Le Printemps or Galeries Lafayette, not just for shopping, but also for the amazing observation terraces where you get to see the panoramic views of Paris for free. If you have time, I strongly recommend checking out l'Opéra Garnier, either by watching an opera performance or taking a facility tour. This is the most elegant opera house I've ever seen anywhere in the world, as well as being the setting to the world-famous The Phantom of the Opera. Let's head back to Champs-Élysées. For me, the only reason I might go back would be seeing possibly the second most identifiable landmark in Paris, Arc de Triomphe. This architectural masterpiece is certainly a must-see, and it would be a shame if somehow you miss it. You can also climb to the top of this triumphal arch, and there you'll be able to see Paris from a very unique point of view, which is totally worth your time and money. Last but not least, you need to visit the Palace of Versailles. Technically, it is not located inside the city limits of Paris, but this is certainly a place that's worth traveling from all over the world just to see. Understandably, this will be a day trip, but if you have more than 2 full days in Paris, you should seriously consider visiting Versailles. Realistically, you won't really be able to see everything inside the palace complex in a day. So focus and prioritize on the main palace building. Then you can choose to spend more time in the enormous gardens of Versailles or head to the estate of Trianon. The Palace of Versailles is huge, so remember the keywords. Focus and prioritize on the main palace building. Everything else is optional. I hope this video was able to help you to plan your next trip to Paris. Like mentioned, here is the more first-timer friendly list of all attractions that I rated as must-see. While Paris certainly has amazing top-notch tourist attractions, I found simply experiencing the City of Light at a leisurely pace will be far more rewarding than crossing off bucket lists. Plus, you won't be able to see them all unless you plan to stay really long. Remember, there is always next time. If you have to miss a certain attraction, it will be a perfect excuse to come back to Paris in the future. You'll also find a more comprehensive Paris and Friends series on our adventure channel, Sayu Rinpoche's Adventures. I'll drop the link to the series playlist and the channel page in the description box below. If you have found this video being helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more contents coming up. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.